Welcome to the show, homies. I've been doing this a long time now, and boy, it never ceases to amaze me and surprise me. I don't really have a lot to say. You guys sit back, relax, and get a bunch of great tips for buying a first home from two of my favorite new people. Let's listen to the story of Renee and Tom.
How to Buy a Home educates, protects, and connects first-time homebuyers to qualified vetted realtors in their area. Whether you're looking for DIY information or step-by-step guidance, How to Buy a Home is the #1 resource for first-time homebuyers.
Hey, everybody. We got another fantastic interview today. I'm talking to Renee and Tom. We're just talking about the weather because, that's what you do when you're a homeowner. I'm very excited. Hey. So we'll get into it in just a minute. Renee and Tom, welcome to the show. Give your best pointer for the people out there who think, oh my gosh, can I buy a home? What happened with you guys?
We had leased our house for 16 years. I don't even want to think of how close we were to buying that thing. And about 2 years ago, they wanted the owners were like, we want to upgrade the house. So y'all can find another house or you'll just have to move from room to room while we're doing this. Which Renee, from almost the minute I met her, has always talked about owning our own home, which I wanted that too. So she launched into this, and I'm going to be perfectly honest. At first, I was like, there's no way. I'm 60 now. Credit has some bruises. It wasn't bad, but it had some bruises. There was going to be a little bit of a challenge there. And so I kind of coasted that first year. I was like, yeah, honey, let's do it. Yeah, I'm right here for you. And I'm like, there's no way. Well, Renee being Renee, I call her the research goddess. Because if you want to know something, she'll find it. And she started listening to your podcast, started pushing it on to me. I listened to a few of your podcasts. And then she started working on the financing and the credit and this. And it started, I was like, oh my God, we may actually pull this off. And by we, I mean her. About a year and a half into it, I started buying in. I'm like, okay, this is possible. And a lot of the information we got from your podcast, really, we went into this like we knew what we were doing. And then we hooked up with James and Andy. And I think they made that as painless as this process can be.
That's actually the biggest surprise to me was how easy and painless it was. The order. So I was behind the scenes doing some things that he wasn't aware of. When we signed our last 2-year lease, I decided at that point that was going to be our last lease ever. I didn't get as serious about it as I should have the first year. So last June, I was like, holy cow, we are a year into this and I've only got a year left. I better really light a fire. And that's when I really started talking about it. So that's probably when he became more aware or started feeling the pain, because I started talking about saving money and all of that. I didn't actually find your podcast until February. So we were almost at the point where we were ready to start looking. But as the over-researcher that he was talking about, I didn't want to start the process without knowing the language and exactly what the process was going to be. I didn't want any surprises. And I have never been someone that's listened to podcasts, but I do listen to Spotify. And I'm like, there's got to be something out there. And I did a search, and lo and behold, I found you. And I binge listened to you for about a day and then reached out to you. I think it was about 9:30 my time. And you responded like immediately. And then the next day I was hooked up with Andy and James, and we were off. And that was the beginning of February. And we did have to wait till the end of March to seriously start looking, or the middle end of March, because part of our financing was going to be a yearly bonus, and that wasn't going to arrive till the end of March. So probably the hardest part for me was getting the team in place and being ready to go, and then having to just window shop for a few weeks until.
I'm going to inject in here. She found your podcast, binge listened to it, then started pushing it on to me. I do listen to podcasts and stuff, but at that point, I was still only like 80% bought in that we were going to be able to do this.
Yep.
And so, I'd come home. Did you listen? No, sorry. I'll listen to them. And well, then I actually fired one up and started listening. And the way you presented the information, I was like, hey, it was entertaining. It was informative. And I listened to several of them.
There were so many really, really helpful. I mean, I listened to probably 3/4 of your how many 300 podcasts.
Well, you told me you were an over researcher, and in your very first note to me, so verified if you listen to 200 podcasts or 250. You should have heard somewhere in when you were trying to make sure you know all the vocabulary first. Probably at the end of those episodes, I said, "But don't try to learn this all. Call me now."
Yep, I did, and also don't listen in order. Because I started going back to the beginning, and then I heard don't listen in order. So yeah, I did listen to most of the A to Z. Just, there were so many gold nuggets in there. Just so many.
The first one she sent to me, I started listening and I'm like, I know all this. Because she had been teaching me as she went. So I'm like, okay, I know this. So I'd skip, and I get to a part that I didn't know. And it was awesome the way you put the information out there and put it together.
As far as the surprise being how painless it was. So we were prepared. I was addicted to Zillow and Redfin at that point. I was on both of them constantly. I told James when we first talked that he wouldn't need to tell me that there was a house to look at. I would let him know what we needed to look at. And it's true. So he originally set us up with one of his teammates. That teammate, before we actually reached the point that we needed to start looking, went on to commercial real estate. So we ended up back with James. And he was at some work thing in Cabo when,
bless his heart.
Yeah, poor thing. And when he came back,
it was legit. It was legit. I will tell you, it was legit.
Okay. Well, but
it was Cabo.
It was Cabo.
Come on now.
So when he got back, we had planned a meeting at 3:00 on a Wednesday, and he had 3 houses that I told him I wanted to see that hadn't had open houses and that we wanted to look at closer. And then that day that we were meeting him, 2 more houses came on the market. And I told him about them when we met him at 3:00. And while we were discussing, just getting to know each other, he had one of his teammates adding those houses to our list of houses that we would see that day. So it was
5.
It was probably 5:00 when we got started. We saw 6 houses.
5 houses.
5 houses. I don't know. It was a whirlwind of houses that night. I think it was 6.
May have been. I had to give them, to keep it straight in my head, I had to give them all nicknames.
Yep.
So there was one house that had like a castle turret with an arch cut in it for the front. So that was the turret house. There's a subdivision over here called Inspiration. There was a house there, so I nicknamed that one Inspiration. Then there was the Turd House. I'll let you fill in that blank.
Yeah, I've shown a few of those in every iteration of the word.
Yep. So then we got to this house, and we were looking at it, and Renee goes, "What nickname are you going to stick on this?" And I went, "Oh my God, yes." That was the other thing we were running into. She would love a house. I didn't like it. I would love a house. She didn't like it. And we'd go through this, and it got to the point where we're never going to find a house we both agree on.
Now, keep in mind, this was just while we were doing open houses.
Open houses.
This was our first time out with James. We looked at 6 houses that night. And this being the second to the last one. And we didn't really think, first of all, it was the first day it was on the market. Secondly, it was aggressively priced for the house and the subdivision that it was in. And I knew that from my year of being on Zillow and researching.
So you knew they were looking for a bidding war.
That's what I figured. I figured this was a Wednesday evening. I figured they wanted to have the house open. We knew that he was motivated. We found that out the next day, but we figured they would at least want the weekend to try to get as many bids in as possible. And we also didn't think we could afford it. It was about $20,000 over our max price. And that was, like I said, aggressively priced. I kind of put it away in the back of my head as not being possible. And then the next day, Andy came back and said, but this is how it is possible with a little bit of creative financing, which, I knew from your podcast these guys are magicians at coming up with.
Solutions.
So we had to decide whether or not it was a scary solution, though, because it is a 2-1 buy down. So in 2 years, if the interest rates aren't down, we'll have to, figure out. We're a little older, so our income's not increasing as much yearly as someone that's a little bit younger at this point. But I feel confident that we will be fine. But we had to make that decision whether or not we were going to take that leap of faith. And we did. And we put an offer in, again, not thinking, thinking they're going to for sure want to bid more. They're going to let it. I didn't think there was a chance.
Well, James told us, because if you're interested, you need to make an offer.
Yeah. But we also talked about the pros and cons of being the first offer, because we were the first ones to see the house and we were going to be the first offer in. So that was Thursday. We decided to put the offer in Friday morning. He called us at 7:30 to let us know they accepted our offer. We offered a 5-day
inspection
period. So that was kind of crazy and stressful. And we offered, and of course the title group does a full underwriting before we started looking, and they offered 21-day guarantee on their close. So, or they pay an amount. I don't know. So there was
on you now.
You can in a few minutes.
Because she pulled something that if I started to grow hair just so I could pull it out.
Anyway. So anyway, they accepted the offer. The inspection was Saturday. This is Texas.
That freaked me out.
This is Texas. I know. I'm sure you've heard about our foundation issues and soil issues.
Yes.
And so,
well, they say you either have foundation problems or you're about to have foundation.
Or you're about to. Yep.
So the inspector was from Brick Kickers. Great company, and we have heard since then that they are extremely thorough, and we really appreciated that. And he said, I would feel more comfortable if you had a foundation specialist and a roofing specialist also come out.
Now, did you over-research to find them, or was that a recommendation from James?
That was from James.
Yeah. When you get to the unicorn level, whoever is Brick Kickers in your town, number one thing that we give to our buyers, because it's the most important thing. So did you end up paying that extra money and having foundation and having all that stuff?
Well, the inspector, and like he was being over thorough, which I appreciate, but he said right up front, I'm not a foundation guy. I'm not a roof guy, but I'm seeing things that concern me. So we reached out to James, who just so happened to have a foundation guy and a roofing guy. So the foundation guy came out. I took off early from work to meet him, and he did his thing, and he come out, and his first words were, well, I'm not going to make any money off this deal.
Which was so great.
Oh, nice.
Which was so great, because between Saturday and Monday when he came out, this guy, bless his heart, he is a by nature glass half empty type of person. So he had completely convinced himself that the foundation was going to be,
the house was going to fall over,
that it was falling through. We were going to have to continue our home search. So he was doing cartwheels by the time he met with the.
He said the foundation guy said, "Oh, this foundation is not going to need anything for 10, 15 years."
So then
the roof guy came out and said, "There's not a thing wrong with that roof."
The one thing that the inspector had seen was actually not flashing like he thought it was, where they had painted the metal to match the roof. So it wasn't missing. It was there. It was just painted. But anyway, so we went ahead.
Camouflage. Well, those inspections will scare you.
Oh, yeah.
Those inspections will make a glass half full guy throw the glass against the wall and run away.
Yeah. He made a list. He went through the detailed report and made a list of everything that was noted. He's a very handy person, thankfully. Like he can fix anything. And so everything that was listed, other than the foundation and roof, possibly, and a few windows that needed to be replaced.
Which got replaced thanks to the hailstorm.
Yeah. So the roofing guy inspected it. We went under contract on Tuesday at 5. That was the end of the 5-day period. Tuesday night, Wiley, Texas got the hailstorm of all hailstorm. Every roof in the city right now is being replaced. And it demolished. And the roof was 7 years old. So, I mean,
that's very young.
It had been replaced the last time there was a major hailstorm in 2015.
Oh my gosh.
Took out the roof, took out the gutters, took out a couple of windows.
Yep. So all of that got replaced.
And by having it,
under the previous homeowners insurance.
Under the previous homeowners.
Because we gave them a 30-day lease back.
Oh, it was a lease back. Yeah. So they were, yeah. Okay. Oh my gosh. So many things. Yeah. Hey, everybody, if you're doing a lease back, make sure you have an awesome team like unicorn team like James, who make sure that they keep their insurance in place. Absolutely. Well, because you then become a landlord.
It was literally, the lease back hadn't gone to an effect yet. We had not closed yet. I mean, we literally went under contract. It was the end, the 5th day of the inspection period. And that night the hailstorm hit. So,
that was going to be a $5,000 exit if we wanted to back out of it.
Yeah. But
we'd already paid our earnest money.
I will,
because your earnest money's already in, you're already through your inspection and you'd already cleared the inspection. But, even act of gods, you have to be covered.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing is we actually bought the house from a realtor whose wife's mother is also a very known realtor in the area. James has worked with her, Roxanne DeBerry or something like that. Super well known in the area. So that was also another part of this process that became so easy, is because we were buying from realtors. They did all these extra little things to make our process easier too, moving in. It was like the whole thing was a dream, really. I mean, it went so quick. We only went out and looked at houses once. We went under contract within 5 days. The closing happened within 3 weeks after that. And the lease back was 2 weeks after that. And then we had 3 weeks to move into the house. It's just been, it was so easy.
It scared me. Because again, that was my glass half empty guy. I'm going, okay, when's the other shoe going to drop?
You know what? I'm sorry this is retroactive, but like a 3-minute conversation and I could have explained it to you. It would have been like, Renee, pat Renee on the back. She over-researched the heck out of this. She happened to find the one crazy guy who just decided, you know what? This whole system sucks. There's 1% of good people. Let me just get my microphone and see if I can get good people with good people.
And you did, in our case.
Well, if I was with the broker right now, they would not let me air this because they would say, they said it's easy. Don't do that. And I'm like, no, there's 3 million people with a real estate license. There's only 250 unicorns. Do you know why it was easy? James and Andy.
Yes.
I've been doing this 20.
I got to give credit to their teams too. They've gotten teams behind them.
Oh my gosh. James, I don't even talk to James. I just talk to his team.
Yeah.
Like if I want something done, and then James and I talk later. It's the best. I've spent time with them at their office. I think it was brand new when I went to go visit them in Dallas. But James's unicorn lender trained and grew up with my Southern California lender, and that $250 per diem 21 day. Mm-hmm.
He got that from.
That's how I nailed so many deals the past 8 years because they came up with it together. Yeah, they still like mastermind on the phone, but that's it. Let me explain it to everyone out there. If it doesn't close within 21 days, we will give you $250 per day that it doesn't close. That's why they didn't go to the open house. They also said to James, or James probably said to you, here's what I'm going to do. If we get this open house on the weekend, it's going to get bid up. You did the research. I know. So I'm going to tell him we can do an inspection in 5 days. At that point, Tom got up from the ground after he fainted and said, 5 days. What?
Right.
And then James said, I happen to know the best inspectors in town.
Get them out here tomorrow.
Yeah. Price is only one part of your offer. Your offer, the terms of the offer can get you a deal. In this market, an underpriced home and the first offer, he was right for you guys to have that conversation about the first offer, pros and cons.
Absolutely.
We've been doing this.
He also suggested writing a letter, which I did. And it really...
The wife said that swayed her. As soon as she read that letter, she knew we were the ones to buy the house.
This area has been, I'm sure every area over the last 2 years has been hit up so hard by investors and large corporations buying up homes and renting them out. Yeah. And they had been approached by Several. And she just didn't want to do that to her neighbors and to the neighborhood. And so we're raising granddaughters. And one of the things we fell in love with about this house is the bedrooms are just ginormous. And so the girls really have space to spread out. And so
is it an older home? Usually the older
2022 or 2002.
And the bedrooms are
yes,
big?
I know. We could not find another house that had more space and bigger bedrooms. And we walked into this one and it was like, it had everything we wanted.
And that's what made you both agree?
Broom closets.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and that's what I told her. I said, obviously you guys have really cared for this home. They've been in it for 18 years and we can really see our family here. And so that really helped as well.
Well, and having the realtor, that's the other piece about it. The unicorn realtors and the experience, when I say experience, reputation is a huge part of that. Mm-hmm. And let's face it, yes, everyone wants the most money, but if they have a relationship with a realtor, if there's a realtor involved with the transaction, yes, we know the worst thing that could happen is it not closing. So they're looking for the people that, and the letter's great. There's the emotional connection, but the reputation of your representation, I
agree,
that's going to put you over the top. Now, you said, talk to me. So the creativeness, it was a 2-1 buy down. Did you guys have extra cash above and beyond? Wait a minute. What did you guys put down? Because when you came to me on February 4th, you had like a few grand saved.
Yeah, we didn't have a huge amount saved, but we did have the annual bonus that was coming that was going to be close to around $10,000 at the end of March. And then we borrowed the rest out of 401k. Or not borrowed, just pulled
it out.
He just hit 65, so we could pull it out without the extra penalty.
I'm just
60.
60.
Sorry.
Don't rush it.
Sorry.
Don't.
He's 60. I'm so sorry. I'm 55. He's 60. Anyway, when you turn 60, you can pull out a little bit of money without having to pay the extra penalties.
So did you guys did you do an FHA at 3.5%, 5% down? What did you do?
FHA at 3.5%. I don't know.
3.5% on a house, almost $500,000 when you came to me with only $3,000 in the bank. And you said, I think I need 9. First, you said 5 to 8 months. And then the second thing you filled out said, I need 9 to 12 months. So I was like, oh, this girl's trying to hedge your bets and push back a little bit.
No, part of that was because I waited a little bit too long to, like he said, we had just a couple bruises on the credit, not anything recent, but some old stuff that I really felt like needed a professional to clean up because, sometimes you can make things worse by writing letters and asking for things to come off. And I waited too long to hire her. I hired her like January 1st. And so she was like, hey, if you could wait till the end of summer, I know I can put you in the best position. And so that's but then we decided we really don't want to, we want to get into the market before the summer rush.
Summer's when everybody's buying houses.
Right.
Okay, at one point we had talked about my favorite credit tip in the world. Did that end up working out? Did you use the authorized user?
I wanted to, but the only person I felt comfortable asking was my father, and he's a little older and just
I get it.
Could not get him comfortable with the idea. He thought about it. He's got perfect credit. He's worked really hard to get it there, and
he did give it some. At first, I thought he was going to go, no.
He gave it some good thought.
He gave it about a week's worth of thought.
And I just couldn't. I wasn't going to.
Well, but by the 4th, so did you do some other things between February and March?
Not really. I mean, our credit wasn't quite where I wanted it. We ended up being just under 700, which I would have preferred it be over 700, but we still have her working on it. So when we get ready to finance in 2 years, we'll be in a better position.
Did Andy let you know? Because you guys just closed here, March, April, May. Did you see a drop? It happens sometimes when you pay your first more. Okay. Give it 6 months and you will definitely be over the 700 threshold.
Yeah.
It takes a little bit of time.
We had to warn the lady that was helping us with our credit because I just knew she'd see that and have a stroke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah. Most of the time they know it's going to be good in 6 months.
So, but yes, you are right. Reputation both Andy and James are both well known in the area. James is well known, as is his boots.
You know what? I've been out there a few times. James is in Texas, and James grew up definitely not in Silver Spoon guy, and he saw firsthand. And the guy, since he started making money, has been giving back.
Well, that's awesome.
And part of what he does giving back is he does this thing for Sharp Shoes.
Oh.
And since it's Sharp Shoes that he gives back, you have to ask him.
I didn't know this.
Yeah. Wasn't aware of that.
It's huge. Well, he's holding back. It is a gigantic fundraiser, and he gives shoes to people that don't have shoes.
Wow.
Really?
And when I was in Texas for an event, he had a small gathering. When we went over there for dinner, he took us up to, he has a loft, probably the size of one of your granddaughter's rooms, stacked top to bottom with those plastic bins with all the donation shoes. And he's telling us the story and starts tearing up. And he's the most wonderful man and the most savvy business bulldog I've ever met.
He's
so
sharp.
he wears those shoes. He is sharp.
Almost
But
sharp
he wears
as those on his boot.
He wears those crazy shoes as an advertisement to us to ask them about it.
How funny.
And then he's like very subtly slips in, and I'm having a charity event later.
That's funny.
So he wears them for the other realtors. I mean, plus he just likes the fun of, he has these crazy boots.
Yes.
So, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the first day we met him, they were electric blue.
Matched his car.
Yep.
Matched his car. Yes.
Oh, he loves that car. When I was there like a year and a half ago when he got it. I was in the driveway with him.
It's a gorgeous car.
He's an incredible, that it's been so great to see someone at a position where a large part of what they do is giving back.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And yet, when he's got team shuffles and whatever, when I let him know, I've got a how to buy a homie, he's like, Dave, let's go. And took care of you two. And the Tuttle team is fantastic. So you have the 2-1 buy down. You mentioned, so the first year you're getting the break. Do you feel like next year, since your income isn't going to change much, when it's 1 point difference, is next year going to be a stretch, or are you kind of using these 2 years as a practice to get you ready?
We're preparing. She's really into the budget. We use Monarch to track spending, which was a big part of what got us ready to buy the house. It's going, until we get settled, it's going to be a little tight, but I don't think it's going to be a problem because we look at the budget. She looks at it more than I do. Sometimes we look at it together. And we find, okay, we can cut this by half, or we can cut that by a quarter, or we can cut that out for a month. So I don't think it's going to be a problem.
I think we'll be able to cover the 1% difference pretty comfortably. I definitely think we'll need, I am definitely hoping for the refi once it goes up 2 points. But
yeah, well, it's been a very interesting year so far, and a lot of things that we're looking at to see where we're going to be headed. I'm getting ready to do my year-end, my mid-year review, and all the people I usually talk to are just sitting there with their hands up.
Yeah, I don't know. I know it's really hard to predict right now.
Yeah, the interest rate reduction is supposed to happen at some point, but every day there's a new story. Yeah. But over the last 5 years for sure, but even over the last 15 years, government manipulation of the economy in general through the Fed rate is what gets people reelected. So as we get ready to head to the midterms, there's going to be some things that someone's going to have to do so they can stand on their economy platform again. But in the meantime, lovely that you're there. If you do have any extra money, the little high yield savings accounts are great at like 4.5% you can get right now. Yep. So those are fantastic. And I love that you're using Monarch. I think that your story is so exciting because you guys have such a great attitude. Yeah, even you, Mr. Half Glass Empty guy.
I call her Pollyanna. I'm the Grinch.
Yeah, but she's Pollyanna who researches.
I am. I'm Pollyanna.
So that's gotta. There's a reason you guys work.
Yes, yin and yang.
We definitely do. I mean, we're coming up on our 13th anniversary, which is, I was a single mom my entire life of 4 kids, and that's a big reason why I'm just now a first-time home buyer. He wasn't always single, but he was always a single income household and supporting a big family. And so, we are definitely a good match for each other, and
it works.
Balance each other out.
Oh, I never got to tell on you. I forgot to tell on you. All right.
Okay. So let me just say, okay, after a year of being on Zillow 150 times a day, it's a hard habit to break, right? It's something. Okay. So
we're out of the earnest money is now, it's gone. If we back out, it's gone. We're past that point.
Option period
over. We're locked in.
Gotcha.
I'm excited. There are times I'm like pinching myself to make sure this is real. I get a text from her one day. I need you to talk me off the ledge. What? And she sends me this listing.
I knew it.
And I'm like, I said a whole bunch of things that I can't repeat on your show.
Okay. Do you remember in the beginning, I told you I would have a pool in my backyard? I didn't care if I lived in a shack. I was going to have a pool in my backyard.
I do remember that.
As we looked at houses, I had to come, we had to look at what we were willing to sacrifice. I had to come to terms with the fact that a pool in my backyard was not going to be something I was going to get.
So I'm going to get her a hot tub.
We are going to get a hot tub.
Oh, excellent.
It can be cold in the summer.
Yes. So she found this house that had everything she wanted, including a pool in the backyard, for less than what we paid for this place. And I'm doing everything I can. Honey, we already put in the earnest money. We love this place. And she kept going, but it has a pool. I said, something's wrong if it's got all of that stuff and it's priced lower than what we paid for this place.
It was what it boils down to is it was in a subdivision without an HOA, and you can tell. And in this area, all of the subdivisions without an HOA, you can tell they don't have an HOA. I am very pro HOA. He was very anti HOA, but I need to be able to, we'd like to be able to retire in this lifetime. And the only way that's going to happen is if we
maintain the resale,
make a really good investment on a house that will resell, that will allow us to move out into the country and out buy a house.
Yeah.
I get what HOAs are for. I understand it. I get it. But the thought of somebody telling me what I can and can't do with the house that I'm paying for,
I've known you for 30 minutes and I get it.
Anyway, that's
we're on the same page. It's a necessary evil.
That house was in a neighborhood that didn't have an HOA, and it wasn't. I mean, there would have been a lot of problems with it. But
we were driving over to drive by the house to look at the outside, and I'm saying, please be in a trashy neighborhood. Please be in a
Yep. Well, and I'll even give you some other perspective to make you, because I've had to do that several times. Take the people back from the ledge. Who knows if the letter would have manipulated / worked. Why was it priced so low? Would that one have got a bidding war? There's a 1,000 other things about it. But especially I'm very proud of you because it takes some real quality, deeper level understanding to take that real high level view and realize that this home, because of where, I'll say you, but we are all with our age, every decision right now it doesn't have the longest, runway that 25-year-olds do. Right. So the investment part of it for you guys is very important.
And the neighborhood that we bought in is amazing.
Really?
Yeah. I mean,
did you know it before?
Yes. It was one of my top 3 neighborhoods that I wanted to live in Wiley. We were, okay. surprise, surprise, I picked the school district, I picked the neighborhoods. I knew exactly what I wanted. This does have a great neighborhood pool. It's got tennis ball or pickleball courts. It's got basketball courts. It's got playground, and it's just very family friendly. We came from an older neighborhood with older people, very quiet. This is a family neighborhood. People are out riding bikes and on scooters.
Kids playing outside.
Yeah.
They don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, what did you not have Wi-Fi with the HOA? What's going on?
This neighborhood is just perfect for us, and I knew that.
People are super friendly.
I had FOMO. I knew it was going to happen to me because I had been looking for so long. I was scared to death that we were going to pick something, and then the perfect house. Because you've got to make sacrifices. There's things you're going to have to go without, and I was scared to death I would sacrifice something and pick a house, and then the perfect house would come along. And so I needed to make myself not only uninstall the apps, but even like uninstall my unregister, because I was still getting emails from.
Oh yeah, they'll hit you up.
Oh, that day when I got that first text and she sent me that listing, I was, like I said, I can't repeat.
I was only half serious, but I did.
Well,
I did need a little talking off the ledge.
The understanding is so important because I've got 19-year-olds and I've got, folks my age like y'all. And how great that the community is fitting your guys' needs right now.
It's an awesome community.
Oh, they bring food trucks out.
Yeah. Like a food truck once a week parks at the pool. And
down at the
everybody
pool.
Comes out and orders food.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's that kind of community.
1 week it was a taco truck. 1 week it was a lobster roll truck. Last week it was a hamburger truck.
A great place to raise kids.
That's the antithesis to don't tell me what to do, is the HOAs will have those events that not only you, but the grandkids and everyone gets to enjoy. And the other trick with the HOAs is be nice to your neighbors, because anything you do in the backyard, the only person who's going to tell on you
is your
neighbors.
So true. So true. That's a good point. We do.
As long as they're cool with it, you can usually do what you want. You can't paint the front of your house purple and pink, Tom, but besides that, you're okay.
I guess I'll have to give that up too.
Well, you're handy. So you get the very special How to Buy a Home badge, which is whenever you come to Southern California, you are obligated to notify me to come and fix all the crap at my house.
Deal.
We would love to get together and have a beer with you, David.
I would love it. My family asked me what I want. We're recording this the day before Father's Day. My family asked what they wanted me to do, and I said, I want to go to Home Depot and ask them about how to make my roses grow. So I'm finally trying some stuff.
Awesome.
House stuff.
Well, happy Father's Day to you.
Yes.
Thank you very much. It's such a pleasure talking to you guys because you were so funny telling me you were an over researcher, and then I'm following along with everything and I'm like, wait a minute, we talked like 2 weeks ago. Okay, it's been a month. Now you're under contract.
Yep.
That's just incredible. Well, thank you guys for sharing your story, and I really appreciate you guys.
Thank you
for having
for
us.
getting the ball rolling and all this stuff.
Yep, absolutely.
Keep up the good work.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
Stay in touch.
Awesome.
All right.
Well, How to Buy a Homies, not only two wonderful people, but boy, chock full of tips and things that are going to help you in your home buying journey. So I can't thank Renee and Tom enough for coming on the show. I'm so ecstatic for them. So happy that after 16 years of being renters, they finally got to make this goal actually happen. Please help us out here at the show. If you're getting anything from these interviews, from these stories, go to Spotify, go to Apple, write a review for the podcast. In doing so, you're going to help other people find the show, and we're going to be able to get this information to everybody out there. I would really, really appreciate it. Another way you can help is to share this episode or share any episode to as many people as you can. I know you know some renters out there who would like a happy ending like Renee and Tom. So let's try to do it before your friends end up getting in their 40s or 50s. Let's try to get everybody on the rent replacement strategy as soon as possible. Thanks for listening. Go to howtobuyahome.com if you've got questions. Anytime you want to, drop me a question there and I'll get back to you. And remember, gang, just like Renee and Tom, you can do this.
Looking for more DIY education or your own personal step-by-step guidance through the home buying journey? Since 2019, How to Buy a Home has been the #1 resource for first-time home buyers. So visit howtobuyahome.com to get started.